Fundraiser's new season's labor union. His life was recently turned upside down, as we all know, when he was unjustly fired by New Seasons. He's here to speak about his personal experience with what the power of a dedicated group of workers who care and look out for each other can do.
Thanks, Brent. I'm just going to start off by saying I'm not a public speaker. I'm not a hardcore labor organizer. I'm just a guy who has worked for 19 years for New Seasons Market as in the front end department with the cashiers, and I've just tried to bring humanity to the job. I've tried to be more than just somebody that rings up your groceries. And that used to mean something for New Seasons. So, New Seasons has grown as a company, and they are no longer what they used to be when they were a small locally owned company. I got involved with New Seasons Labor Union a couple of years, 2.5 years ago. It was about 2 years ago that our Reliance store voted to affiliate with the union, and I voted in favor of that because I'm long-time union supporter. And then a little while after that, a little more than a year ago, I stepped up to become the treasurer of the union because nobody else was doing it. I don't have a finance background, but nobody else stepped up for it, and so I just decided that I would go ahead and say yes to that. So, I've just been trying to go along and do my job and do what I've always done, which was to build relationships with customers and to look out for my coworkers. And I was just doing that up until about 5 months ago, when all of a sudden New Seasons decided that they wanted to start paying attention to some things that I know. Again, sorry for my bad public speaking, but so 5 months ago, New Seasons started to pay attention to some stuff that really was just me trying to do the right thing by my coworkers. I got written up for 2 different things over the last few months that were technical policy violations, but they were not malicious to the company. They weren't hurtful to the company in any way. They didn't hurt business in any way. And they were just both done in service of my legally blind coworker. And so ultimately I got investigated and written up for 2 separate things that led to them deciding to summarily fire me about 5 weeks ago. And of all the possible things that they could have decided to do in response to these 2 small policy violations, the only 2 policy violations in my entire 19-year history, by the way. I have my personnel file, it's like this thick, and the only 2 policy violations in the entire file are in these 2 things in the last 5 months. And they chose to fire me, and I'll leave you guys to decide why it is that they decided to do that. We know why. So, in that moment, after I got fired, if New Seasons Labor Union did not exist, I would have just gone home and been depressed and eventually figured out a way to move on and find another job and move on with my life. But since New Seasons Labor Union exists, what actually happened was that I went downstairs and had a conversation with 2 or 3 of my closest coworkers that are also very heavily involved in the union. And what actually happened was they got fired up and they saw the unjustness of my firing, and they just decided to do something about it. They talked to other workers in the store and they got them fired up, and then within an hour of me being fired, there were a bunch of people walking off the job. And it was unbelievable. And then, some of my people that I know well in our active union organizers and leadership got involved, and they got fired up. And it could have been over after one day. A bunch of people just decided to, a bunch of my coworkers decided to support me and walk off the job. But then what actually happened was that a second store voted to go out on strike, and the next day we had 2 stores on strike. And all those poor organizers with our union got other people fired up that didn't know me at all. And so, after that, it went on for 2-3 days, and just about the time we thought that it was going to, run its course, then other stores started to vote to join the strike as well. And we had, at our highest point of our 9-day strike, we had 6 different New Seasons locations. Yeah. I can't even tell you what a literal life-changing experience it was for me. I'm this, straight white, mid-60s dude who's just been doing his thing, trying to, be a good person, trying to, build relationships with customers and do right by my coworkers. And suddenly there are workers from 6 New Seasons locations out on the picket line, people that I don't even know, people that are half my age, some of them are a third my age, people don't look anything like me. People who don't look anything like me, have nothing in common with me and my life experience, but my story resonated with them. And, people, I can't even tell you what it is like to come out to the store day after day, me trying to take care of my old body, and then I come out and there are people already on the picket lines out there, and as soon as people saw me walking up, people would start to chant, Randy, 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 and people doing other chants with my name in it. I mean, seriously, think what it must feel like for a bunch of people that you don't even know. Some people you know, some people you don't know, but to be actually chanting things, chanting your name in support of you. It's just beyond words. And so, in the end, the strike went on for 6 days or so, and we got to the end of the Sunday, and we're going, okay, this is probably as much as we got. And then it ended up going on for 3 more days after that. And we were damned if we weren't going to make a strong statement leading into the bargaining session. So, anyway, I guess to wrap up, all I would say is that New Seasons Labor Union just showed me the best of what it can be to be a member of a union. And the camaraderie that's there, the sticking up for each other and coming together and doing the right thing. And so I appreciate you all doing, supporting NSLU in any way that you possibly can. I am so proud to be a member of New Seasons Labor Union. Thank you all very much.
Randy.